everybody, and welcome back to The Social Life. We are your hosts. I'm Stephanie Lorero.
And I'm Ksenia Shpak, and we talk about all things trending from social media to the entertainment and the latest tech gadgets. It's November.
Yep.
It's getting cold outside. We got our new hair done after the last couple episodes. We talked about hairstyles. Here we are looking fresh.
Fresh cuts.
And we are in Mercury Retrograde season.
Oh.
Do you know what that means?
I know a little bit about it, and it terrifies me.
Why?
Because from what I've heard,
All right, yeah.
it can kind of mess up your communication, your technology can kind of go awry, and that scares me because everything I do revolves around communication and technology.
Well, you're right. If you don't know what Mercury Retrograde is, don't get scared, don't panic. It's not that crazy, but a lot of astrologists do believe, like you said, it's a time of panic, confusion, mix-ups, frustration. So what is this? Why are we talking about it?
Please.
Well, it goes from October 31st to November 19th, so we are in the peak of it right now. Mercury is one of the closest planets to the sun, and it goes back and forth either side of the sun every 88 days. So in one Earth year, Mercury completes just over 4 orbits. That's why we have Mercury retrograde 4 times a year, and this is the last time it will happen in 2019.
Ooh.
So what is it? It's a little bit confusing, so I'll explain it in the easiest way I can. It's because of the relative position of the planet Earth and how they're moving around the sun. So basically, pretend we're driving in a car.
Okay.
If I'm going at 90 kilometers per hour and you're going at 70, it seems like I'm going faster and you're going behind me when we're driving. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's why it's like an illusion that Mercury is going backwards, and that's why we're having all this commotion.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so this time they say your technology might fail, like you mentioned. You got to be careful of what you say. All these things can happen. Mercury is named after the Roman god Mercury, and he was set to govern travel, business, personal wealth, and communication. That's why they kind of associate all these topics with it. Have you ever experienced anything crazy happening in Mercury retrograde?
I have. I find that I send text wrong, or my phone is the biggest problem. Maybe because it's so old, which I've talked about before. I only have an iPhone 6, so I really need an upgrade. So if something goes wrong there, I'll have to kind of assess if is it Mercury retrograde, or do I really just need a new phone?
Well, sometimes, the significance has become a little bit over-exaggerated, so I feel that we blame anything on Mercury retrograde.
Yeah.
But here's some tips just to survive. Don't start anything new, but rather review, renew commitments, review contracts, reunite with old friends, pause and breathe before you talk, take a chill pill, read all emails and documents before you send it, avoid leaving any drinks near your computer, your electronics, don't want it to break, leave early for appointments, back up digital data, and they always say avoid rekindling with an ex.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so you know what? Be careful. It's kind of crazy out there. I'm very wary of my technology because it always happens to me.
Yeah.
My hard drive will fail. Something will happen. But you know what? Let's change gears. Let's see what's happening in Hollywood. I think it's better.
The first story we have for us today is all about the upcoming Christmas season. So a very important song that's due with the holidays turned 25. All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey.
Oh, that's a classic. It's stuck in my head. If I hear it, that's it. It'll be in my head the whole time.
I know, that's one of my all-time favorite Christmas songs. Here's a little promo she posted on her Instagram.
Oh, very cute.
So what Mariah did to commemorate the occasion is her and her team put together a kind of a new video cut of unreleased footage from the video shoot back when she originally shot the video.
Okay.
So you can go on her YouTube to actually take a look at the full thing. It's really cute and really nostalgic. Is All I Want for Christmas Is You one of your favorite songs, or what do you think one of your favorite holiday songs is?
Well, I definitely think that's a classic, and that's the first one I think. I always think of Mariah Carey, okay? When it's Christmas time, November, December, it's always Mariah Carey. That's definitely a classic. Maybe Santa Claus Comes to Town.
Yeah, that's a good one too. I know, it's definitely a classic in my house too. I remember my mom had the CD, and we'd always play it while we're setting up the tree, so I always remember listening to that song growing up. And Mariah herself was actually super surprised that it became a classic. She told USA Today that she wanted the song to feel like a classic when she was writing it, but she had no idea that it was going to become this big. And she also said that Christmas music is something that's so important to her around the holidays, and seeing the song grow in popularity all these years it's really touched her heart, and she could have never expected anything like this.
Oh, what's a great song, Mariah? Keep releasing the hits.
Yeah, Mariah, come up with some new Christmas music. I'm ready for it. For sure. Another trending entertainment story has to do with Bachelor in Paradise.
Ooh, our fave.
I know. So, it's kind of sad though.
Uh-oh.
I know. Bachelor in Paradise stars Demi and Kristen actually split up. They called off their engagement.
Really?
Yeah, I know. And although they were dating prior to the show, this would happen for anyone that wasn't watching The Bachelor. They had a relationship prior to the show, and Demi actually left to kind of go on the show.
Yeah.
And then Kristen came back and surprised her, and that's when they kind of rekindled their relationship. And they made headlines for being the first gay couple on The Bachelor franchise.
Yeah, that was such a big thing. I even remember when we had an interview with Caitlin Clemens, a Toronto star. She said that they're so strong, and she hopes that one day they're gonna, get married. They were engaged.
I know, exactly. What's up on the screen right now is one of the posts made by Kristen. They actually both posted separate photos of each other, but with the same caption, kind of detailing that they need to spend some time apart, and that's best for their relationship right now. They wish each other the best, and they're forever proud of the amazing kind of change and the impact they had on society by putting their relationship out there on television.
Sometimes I wonder, you know what? Maybe they'll get back together. You never know.
Who
I mean, they were
knows?
one of my fave couples. So,
Do you think their relationship was genuine now that they've split so soon after the finale?
oh, you know what? You never know. It's a good question. I mean, they look so cute. Their love looks so real. So I want to think yes.
I'd like to think so as well. Another couple that unfortunately split up is Tisha and John Paul Jones.
Oh my gosh, they were so funny together. I don't know why I love them. They were just these crazy, you would have never thought that they would be together.
I know.
And a lot of people, it's funny because a lot of people on Twitter were going off after the show ended, being like, oh, they're not gonna last, they're gonna break up, and here we are. They were right.
Here we are. Tisha posted this to her Instagram with this caption saying they have a lot of love for each other, but it just didn't work out with their scheduling and things like that. It was interesting, their story, because they're kind of an oddball couple, like you said, and at the end of the show they didn't get engaged, but Tisha actually flew out to see him afterwards.
Yeah, she did.
And they reconnected. So here you go. I guess it just didn't work out.
I guess it doesn't work out. I mean, I follow her on Instagram. She travels a lot. I read the post. She said that because of her travels, they live in different parts of the USA and the country, right? So it's very hard, and long distance is hard. So
exactly,
I don't blame him.
I don't blame him either. Yeah, so we'll have to see what goes down in the next season of The Bachelor next year. But for now, let's take a look at what's trending in tech.
Hey Social Life, my name is Sanjula, and this is a PSA to all my friends and pretty much the whole internet who like to flex their AirPods. Well, you might want to start saving up now because Apple just debuted their brand new AirPods Pro, which retail for 329 Canadian dollars. But first, let me tell you a little bit more about them. So the main difference between these and the first-gen AirPods is the active noise cancellations. Now the AirPods, their sound quality has been decent. Nothing extraordinary nor terrible. It's just decent. It sounds the same as the regular earbuds that come with the Apple iPhone, but just wireless. With the new ones, sound quality has drastically improved, as well as a better design to fit your ear more comfortably. They now have replaceable ear tips with small, medium, and large silicone tips, so you can pick the perfect one for your ear. The AirPods also have a new H1 chip, which allows for one of my favorite features ever on any noise-canceling headphone. You can hold the bottom of the stem and it will cancel the noise cancellation, basically a pass-through, and you can hear everything that's going on around you. I first saw this feature being implemented in Sony's noise-canceling wireless headphones, where if you're on an airplane, where you can hold the side of the headphone to cancel the noise cancellation as a pass-through and listen to the flight attendants. Definitely a really cool feature. I'm glad Apple introduced it to their AirPods. In terms of battery life, you can get 4.5 hours of continuous listening on one charge, and you can get an hour of listening time with only 5 minutes of charging. Overall, with the charging case, if you have your AirPods in them, you can get up to 24 hours of continuous listening. And that charging case no longer looks like dental floss. It actually has a new design where it's wider. Now, $329 is a lot for a pair of wireless headphones, and trust me, there are much better alternatives out there. But here's something I never said about last gen's AirPods, because they sounded the same as the EarPods. For that premium that you're paying, you are getting a better design and better sound quality. And for me, if I had the choice to go between AirPods and AirPods Pro, I definitely pay the premium and get the AirPods Pro for the better sound quality and better design. So that's been it. Those are the new AirPod Pros, $329. Start saving up now. Thank you for watching.
New AirPods, hey?
I know.
Damn, I'm not an AirPod user, but I do not think I'd like those.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not a fan of having those little earbuds in. I like the old Apple headphones, you know?
Yeah. like the ones you just place in your ear. I thought that was so innovative. Like I was like, I love these. I don't know. I just always hated growing up the little ones with the plastic, the rubber, rubber insert. I never liked them.
Well, thank you so much, Sanjula, for your review. Now let's see what's happening in news. The city of Toronto launches a new road safety campaign in hopes of reducing pedestrian collisions down to zero. That's why it's called Zero Vision. We know that now the clocks, we went back, right? Yep. It's getting dark outside. It's very hard to see when you're driving at 6 p.m. pitch black. That's why this campaign challenges drivers to take another look. Mayor John Tory announced early November that this time of year is one of the most dangerous times for pedestrians and cyclists, and the injuries and fatalities increased by 30% from November to March. That's why this campaign is inspired by other cities around the world, like New York. They do this a lot. So they want to reduce it. You know what? We want to keep our pedestrians alive. We want to keep our cyclists alive. I think this is a great initiative. It's very dark outside. I'm very cautious when I drive in the dark. How about you?
I am too. It's actually really hard to see people and you don't realize. Sometimes you're driving and you see something at the corner of your eye and you're like, oh, that's a cyclist. I had no idea. So I think it's very important. And also, I've heard a lot about the increasing number of collisions recently.
Yes.
So I definitely think we need to take some kind of action. So I'm glad they put together this campaign.
Yeah, and the mayor, they also announced that they have a plan to reduce speed limits on 250 kilometers of streets in the city by the end of this year. So at least by 10 kilometers, they're going to bring down the speed.
Oh, interesting.
So, you know what, we'll see how this happens, if this is going to affect anything, but I do hope it's going to be a lot better. Everybody, please drive with caution. And another big thing that was making headlines, Zach Posen, the American fashion designer, shuts down his fashion line House of Z. Do you know who Zach Posen is?
Yes, I heard about this story and it was really sad. Like, I love his red carpet dresses specifically.
Yeah, there he is. This is how he kind of started his career in his early 20s.
Yeah, I know. He's a really big entrepreneur and a good role model for young people who want to start their own business. He's done really well so far, so I was actually really surprised. I love his dresses on the red carpet. I think he makes some beautiful designs for celebrities, and fashion is one of my favorite parts of an award show.
Right, I agree. You know, he shut down his operations for financial reasons. Early November, he couldn't really find the right business partner, the right buyer, the right investor for a while, and time ran out. And that's, you know, that's how fast this industry works. Yeah. You don't have something, boom, it's done. His success came, as I said, early on in the years. I mean, here we have Michelle Obama. It's a dress that he designed, beautiful. There's also Naomi Campbell, a beautiful classic red dress. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
Gorgeous. I've met Zach Posen in person. He is wonderful. He is so nice. He wrote a cookbook too. So you know what? I just wish him the best.
He wrote a cookbook. Hopefully he's got some other ventures coming along, and he'll figure out and still have a very successful business.
Yeah, he said that he needs this time to figure out, to kind of assess the industry, look what's happening, and see where to go next. But maybe he'll return in fashion. I mean, you're right. You know, early on in his career, he had this huge impact on fashion. Yeah. So it's only a matter of time before we see what he does next.
Yeah. And, you know, right now, unfortunately, we have to take a break. But we will be right back very soon.
But unlike Zach Posen, we'll be back.
Yeah, exactly. So just stay tuned for more social life after this.
But statistically, it's actually never been harder to find a mate. People are taking longer to get into long-term partnerships. So if you are having a hard time, you are not alone. If you're a silver seeker, meaning you're plus 50, re-entering the dating market, or if you're 19 years old or 28 years old, we're all equally going through it right now.
Let's jump back to your book. So
always.
Let's come back there. It got some great reviews.
Welcome back to Social Life right here on Rogers TV. We talk about all things trending, and I'm so excited to be talking about the #1 best-selling book that's trending in the dating category on Amazon. It's called The Game of Desire, and it's written by Toronto-raised sex educator and relationship expert Shannon Boodram. If you're tired of dating in 2019 and you want to take control of your love life and win the Game of Desire, then this book is for you. I have it right here. Amazing. We sat down with Shannon to talk all about the present dating culture, her new book, and how the techniques outlined in her book can be used in your everyday life. So let's take a look. How would you describe the present dating scene?
The present dating scene is exactly what you see on Twitter. It's trash, which is important to acknowledge. I think people feel like they're supposed to be better or they're supposed to be easier because of online dating. But statistically, it's actually never been harder to find a mate, and people are taking longer to get into long-term partnerships. So if you are having a hard time, you are not alone. If you're a silver seeker, meaning you're plus 50, re-entering the dating market, or if you're 19 years old or 28 years old, we're all equally going through it right now.
Let's jump back to your book. So
Always.
So let's come back there. It got some great reviews and it was trending. How did that make you feel?
It was awesome. I think when you put out a book, and we're so accustomed to social media, we take a picture, we put it out. We write a little caption, it goes out. Even if for videos for YouTube, you make a video, 3 days later, it's out into the world. But to work on something for 2 years, to get no feedback, no opinions whatsoever, and then to put it out, you can't change anything. If people hated it, it's like, too late, this is the book. So it meant the world to me that it was received really well. I put my heart and soul into it. My last book, Laid, was 2009. So I took 10 years to put out a second book. So I would like to think that it's got a lot of love, time, and effort into it. And I'm glad that's being reciprocated and the audience feels and sees that.
And the game of desire, the whole idea of the book is kind of winning the game. What does that mean exactly?
Yeah, so I think when it comes to relationships, the word game has a bad rap, which I understand. Nobody likes games in relationships, but let's repurpose that word. What's a game? A game is a bonding activity that we all know the rules, that we all have an ethical way of playing it, that we know what the objective is, and win, lose, or draw, we're supposed to have fun doing it. And we're engaging in this as a bonding, again, activity. So the game of desire is, the word desire, I actually did a podcast for CBC, and I taught a sex education class that was multi-generational. And it was like a 30-something white male and like an 80-year-old black woman and like an 18-year-old Indian woman. They didn't have anything in common, but the words desire came up every single person. Does my wife still desire me? Does anyone still desire me? Am I ever going to be desired? And there was so much pain associated with the word. So I thought, I want people to have fun in the pursuit of desire, to feel like they're in control, to feel like they have a strategy that puts them in the driver's seat. So I wanted people to start having fun with dating again.
So these 5 or 6 people, they kind of really had different love journeys. So how do their stories help the reader get a better understanding of their own?
It's also, too, sometimes just asking yourself the question. I think, again, with sex and relationships, we don't have enough discourse and group discourse to say, hey, this happened. What would you do in that? It's not until we're actually faced with that problem do we think, how would we respond, or what do we want for ourselves? So the book constantly challenges not just the participants, but the readers to ask themselves, what is your seduction style? What's your anti-seduction style? What's your turn-on trigger? What makes you happy? If you were asked to do vabbing, how would you feel comfortable doing that in a room? So you're having to always assess yourself and see what you would or wouldn't do or where you would lie. And I love that you found someone that you really sided with. But I've talked to some people who are like, I'm a little bit of Stephanie, I'm a little bit of Charisse, I'm a little bit of Priscilla. And so it's truly finding what your story is, but above all else, creating that conversation with yourself to clearly define your own. These are not tools that are specifically reserved for your love life. Being a good people person, understanding how to connect is a power. It's making intimacy a superpower, something you can utilize in every situation, whether it's in this interview or at Starbucks or at your new boo's parents' house. Like, you're going to find the tools here are going to just help you have a better time making greater connections.
And this book is really unique because it's kind of a whole multimedia experience, and you can go online and you can download the exercises.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't want it to be another book that people just read and that was it. I've read a lot of really, really great books. And that was actually one thing I can say I learned the hard way through this experience. I've been in this space for 13 years now. And so the muscle memory to pick up new techniques, new flirting styles, new psychological techniques is easy for me because I'm accustomed to reading and then applying them. But with this group who had never done that before, everything took so long and it took so much reinforcing, and just saying it the first time wasn't enough. And so they had to say it, do the exercise, go practice, talk about it in a group, practice some more, and then finally you see little bits and pieces start to actually sink in. And so if you want to give yourself a shot at actually retaining the information, just reading is just simply not enough.
Right, and I think that this book is great for everybody, and it kind of reinforces that message, right? Everybody can read this book, whether you're male, female, doesn't matter, regardless of your gender. This book is for everybody, so where can people get this amazing book?
They can get your copy and borrow it from you.
I don't know if I can give that away.
She needs it on hand at all times.
You can actually get it everywhere books are sold, but if you go onto Audible, you can get the audiobook for free with a free trial, which I just love giving that tip. There's no buy-in for you. And I read the book myself. So if you enjoy my voice, you can get 7 hours of it.
Lovely.
Yes, Shannon, that was so good. I love chatting with her. You know what interesting little fact that she told us was that this book was actually inspired by Drake.
Yeah, she kind of knew him from her friend because they were filming Degrassi together, hanging out, and he's like, Boodram, where's your book? And she's like, I'm writing, and he's like, no, Boodram, release it right now. You know, he has a pulse for when to release things.
Definitely.
So he inspired this book. It's great. I can't stop talking about it every time I'm in a group chat and something from this book comes up. I always tell my friends, oh guys, fun fact, Shannon Boodram says this, do that. It's not only just for like romantic relationships. You can use this in your everyday life, whether you're going on coffee, you're meeting people, all these techniques used in this book for all genders, all ages. Grab a copy if you can, but not mine. Or unless to return it, because this
told
is
me I
like
could
the
borrow
Bible. Well, okay, fine, I'll give it to you. But speaking of love and relationships, this next story went viral on Twitter for all the right reasons. Do you love food? Like, can a man win your heart by food?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love food, specifically either Asian or Italian food, my two favorites.
All right, so take notes. If somebody's trying to slide into your DM, take notes. Well, on Tinder, this is a really funny story that happened on Tinder. A Twitter user, Tilly Tortellini, decided to impress Tilly at Next Level Tilly on Twitter with his chef skill. So they matched on Tinder, but you can't send photos on Tinder. So he created a Twitter account just for her for this purpose, to share his pasta skills, and this is how it went down. So can we see the first photo of the tweet? If we could pull that up. There you go. So this is what he did. First, he wrote step 1, acquire the dough. This is how he's making it. All right, let's see the next one. Step 2, establish rapport with the dough. So we're making the tortellinis.
Wow, this man's super committed.
Right? Step 3, you gotta betray the dough. Okay, he's showing her all these steps. Step 4, we got an army. We're creating an army. You see, look how beautiful that looks. Delicious.
That looks so good.
I know. Step 5, enjoy the fruits of your labor.
Ooh.
Oh, it looks so good. Step 6, win her heart.
Oh my gosh, that's very cute. I actually really like this. Did he give her the pasta? That's what I want to know.
Well, see, a lot
assume
of
so.
Twitter, a lot of users on Twitter were jumping on and they were saying like, I hope you guys went on a date. I hope you ate so much.
Yeah.
So I hope so. And she replied to the tweet and she wrote last step, successful.
Aww.
When he said win her heart.
That's
so
nice.
This tweet got over 470,000 likes, over 75,000 retweets. And the best part, Tinder, the app. Tinder jumped in on the conversation, offered them pasta on them.
Oh, nice.
So-
That's what you want.
right?
Free dinner? Okay.
So I hope they took up that offer.
Me too. But enough about pasta, guys. Let's jump back into news. So we talked about Mercury Retrograde earlier in the show, but November isn't just a month of Mercury Retrograde. It's actually Movember.
Right, you are right. We are in Movember season.
Exactly. Movember is back, and I think everybody knows that Movember is a time where, you know, you grow out your mustache, you raise some money, raise some awareness, but you actually know all of the causes that Movember supports.
I know that it's about men's health, and we talk, you know, we have a good positive conversation, but I'm not too familiar on all the little details.
Well, they actually specifically target prostate cancer, testicular cancer, mental health, and then suicide prevention. Those are kind of the 4 areas they focus on. They kind of just really want to improve life for men. Actually, they do a lot more initiatives than just getting people to grow mustaches too, which I thought was really interesting.
Okay, what do they do?
They set up different kind of fundraisers and initiatives all month long. One of them is a 60K run, and they do that for the 60 men every hour that commit suicide.
Wow.
So that statistic really shocked me. That's huge.
That's huge. Wow, a 60K run.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I hope all the men go out and participate.
Exactly. It's a really important cause. Visit their website to learn more about how you can help and the other initiatives you can take a part in besides just growing a mustache this season.
Right, and I know so many of my friends, a lot of the guys, they grow it out. They all have pages where you can donate. So if you do see some friends who have it on their social media pages, go donate for a great cause. Let's do Movember November. I love seeing at the end everybody's mustaches growing out. Everybody looks so different.
I know.
But it's great.
Facial hair really changes your face. I think it's a really fun fundraiser too.
It is. It is fun. You know, you add a little, girls change their hair.
Spice your life.
You spice up your
look with the mustache.
Your look with the mustache.
Yeah.
And another big thing happening in news right now, the cell phone ban. So it came into effect on Monday, November 5th. The classrooms are banning cell phones. What do you think about just that idea?
Wow. Okay. Well, I gotta say, I was one of those bad kids, and I definitely was using my phone during class. I can't lie.
All right.
So I would definitely miss it. I think it's great to use in class for class purposes too, not just for fun. I think like when teachers ask you to look something up, or you get to kind of hear about something and then like Google it really quick, I think it adds to your experience in your lesson, and it makes you feel like you're like actively learning instead of just sitting by and listening to a teacher go on and on and on and on. That's my opinion.
Right. Well, this ban, they have an exception. It'll be made that for devices, for kids that need devices, they can use it for medical or health reasons.
Okay.
But they want students to solely focus on the subject matter. So 97% of parents and students actually agree. They like this idea. They want the phones to be banned. But some teachers believe students need to be educated on the impact of technology on their health, their psychological behavior, and so on. So I can see both sides.
Me too. And you know what? I'm sure they're doing it for a reason. So I'm sure it is an important cause, and it will help people learn better. Now, unfortunately, our show has come to an end, guys, but we will be back and we'll see you again soon. Before we go, I just want to say a special thank you to our sponsor, Niche Decor, for providing us with all these beautiful set pieces that you've seen here.
Yep. Check
out their website, nichedecor.ca, and head over to their social media pages at Niche Decor on Instagram and on Facebook. They have 2 unique showrooms in Aurora and Newmarket that you can check out. And they have this very special event happening on November 21st that you can learn more about on their website.
See you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.
1, 2, 3.